As the evening quietly wraps around the house and the last bit of daylight slips away, you're probably in your usual peaceful spot, maybe leaning back in your recliner with your feet up, or sitting at the table while your tea sits forgotten and cooling beside you. That same gentle tiredness is settling in again, a little deeper than an ordinary day should leave you. Your joints feel a bit more stiff, your mind seems to wander without quite finding its place, and even the small routine things that used to happen automatically, like remembering if you already turned off the hallway light or what you were going to do next, now take an extra moment to come clear. You might give a small sigh and think, well, I suppose this is simply part of getting older. But let me sit down here with you, like we're old friends sharing the end of the day, and talk plainly from what I've seen over the years. I've listened to this same quiet worry from so many people in their 60s, 70s and beyond, and after more than 20 years working closely with seniors on sleep and brain health, I can tell you straight, a huge part of that mental dullness, those annoying little memory slips that happen more often now, and the way small frustrations can feel bigger than they used to, aren't always just the years passing by. Very often they're tied to sleep habits that have quietly slipped out of balance, and the really encouraging thing is that simple, gentle changes can help bring back sharper mornings, calmer moods, and a feeling that your mind is working more like it once did. I'm Dr. Michael Kent, and I've spent decades sitting with folks just like you, hearing the same honest things. They tell me about walking into a room and standing there blank, not sure why they went in, or starting to share a memory with a grandchild and then stopping because the next word won't come, or waking up already feeling like the day is too much before they've even made coffee. They come to me convinced these are just normal signs of aging, something everyone has to live with. But when we talk more and look closely, especially at what their nights are like, sleep patterns that have drifted often turn out to be playing a much bigger role than anyone realized. The usual advice about sleep, that you just need enough hours in bed and everything will be okay, only tells half the story. Sleep is when your brain gets busy with its most important work. Every night, it acts like a careful housekeeper, gently clearing away the waste products that build up from all your daytime thinking, moving, and living. It locks in the memories you want to keep so they stay reliable. It repairs and strengthens the tiny connections between brain cells that let you think clearly, solve small problems, and remember names or faces. And it resets your emotions so you wake up feeling even and calm instead of starting the day already tense, irritable, or low. When that nighttime work gets cut short, broken up, or thrown off, even by things that seem minor at first, the brain notices right away. Those effects show up in everyday moments that can feel small but add up over time. You might start talking to a neighbor and then pause because a name slips away, or get annoyed waiting in line at the store because patience wears thin faster than it used to, or sit down to read the paper and find the words don't hold your attention. Sometimes it's forgetting what you went to the store for, or struggling to follow a favorite show because your mind wanders, or feeling short with family over little things like how the remote is held. Other times it's forgetting where you parked the car at the grocery store, or struggling to recall the name of a neighbor you've known for years. You might notice it when you're trying to remember a doctor's appointment or when a grandchild asks about a story from your childhood and the details feel fuzzy. The National Institute on Aging has clear numbers on this. Nearly half of adults over 65 deal with ongoing sleep troubles, yet more than 60% of those people think the troubles are harmless or just part of getting older. What they often miss is how those sleep issues can slowly chip away at brain sharpness over months and years, without any sudden pain or clear warning signs. It's a quiet wearing down that shows up in those ordinary moments, making life feel a little heavier than it needs to. The surprising truth for most folks is that one of the biggest quiet threats to mental clarity in later years usually isn't too much sugar, everyday stress, or family genes. More often, it's the small habits around bedtime and during the night. In the time we have together today, I'll walk you through the 5 most common sleep patterns that silently harm senior brains, then share the simple research-backed adjustments, drawn from strong studies at Harvard, Stanford, and the National Institute on Aging that can help protect your memory, keep your focus steady, and help your moods stay even. These aren't big, scary changes. They're gentle, practical steps that fit right into the life you're already living. We'll go through them one by one, taking our time so you can see exactly how they might work for you. Before we keep going, if it's all right with you, just type your age in the comments. I always like seeing who's here listening because it helps me feel like I'm speaking directly to people who might be feeling these same things and want straightforward, easy ways to feel clearer and more like themselves. Let me explain what's really happening in your brain when sleep timing isn't steady, because this part is something most explanations skip over in simple words. As we get into our 60s and 70s, the circadian rhythm, that natural inner clock that controls how alert we feel, how strongly memories hold, how well we concentrate, and how evenly our moods stay, starts to lose some of its earlier flexibility. Picture it like a train station that used to run on a perfect schedule. Every train came and went exactly on time, keeping everything smooth and calm. If the timetable suddenly turns random, with trains arriving whenever, confusion spreads through the whole place. Your brain is that station. The master clock, a small area called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, depends on steady daily cues to keep all the rhythms working together. When bedtime shifts night to night, maybe early one evening because you're worn out, later the next because you stayed up with family, the deep non-REM sleep stages, which are so key for turning short-term experiences into long-term memories, get noticeably shorter. Those deep stages are where your brain does its most important sorting and strengthening, filing away the day's events so you can pull them up clearly later. When the timing is off, that sorting and strengthening doesn't happen fully, so memories feel fuzzier and thinking feels slower the next day. Researchers at the University of Colorado followed 300 adults for 8 full years, and the results were clear. People with irregular sleep timing had a 30% faster decline in their ability to recall specific events and details, even when they were getting roughly the same total hours of sleep. I know this can sound surprising. Many folks say to me, "But doctor, I still get 7 or 8 hours most nights. Why does the exact time matter?" The answer is that hours give you the time asleep, but steady timing gives you the quality, the full depth of those repair stages where real brain maintenance happens. Without consistency, even enough hours leave gaps in the brain's overnight work. If you've ever walked into a room and immediately forgotten why you were there, or reached for a name and come up empty, add foggy to your comment so I know this feels familiar. It's one of the most common things people mention when these changes start, and it's often the first clue that the body's clock needs a little help getting back on track. When the rhythm is steady, the brain gets the full benefit of those deep stages, and people often report feeling sharper, more patient, and more like themselves. Another habit that comes up constantly is lying in bed awake for 20 minutes, 40 minutes, sometimes nearly an hour, thinking it's no real harm since you're at least in the right place to rest. It seems minor in the moment, but your brain forms strong associations from what happens, and spending long stretches awake in bed teaches it that the bed is a place for alertness, planning, or worry, rather than sinking into deep rest. Over time, that association makes sleep lighter and more fragmented because the mind stops trusting the bed as the signal to relax. It's like trying to park in a spot that's turned into a busy intersection instead of a quiet garage. The peace gets crowded out. Johns Hopkins studied 250 adults, 65 and older, and found those who regularly stayed awake in bed for extended periods had 42% more nighttime awakenings and higher morning anxiety. That pattern quietly leads to daytime mental cloudiness, quicker irritation, and sometimes new nervousness in people who've always been even-tempered. You might notice it when you snap at your spouse over something small like how the remote is pointed, or when you feel restless even though nothing particular is wrong. That extra wake time creates a loop. The more you lie there thinking, the more your brain links bed with alertness. making deep sleep harder the next night. Getting up and doing something calm can help break that loop and reset the association so bed feels safe and restful again. Going to bed very early, 7 or 8 in the evening, because it feels like the safe way to get more rest, surprises almost everyone when I mention it. It sounds logical, but the brain needs enough wakeful hours during the day to build sleep pressure, that natural tiredness that pushes you into deeper, more healing sleep stages. When bedtime comes too soon, deep slow wave and REM sleep shorten, weakening memory storage and emotional regulation. Think of your brain during the day as a sponge soaking up experiences. Without sufficient wake time, it can't fully renew at night. University of Michigan researchers found seniors with early bedtimes had 20% shorter REM cycles despite 9 or 10 hours in bed. That shortened REM can mimic early cognitive slowing, but often the brain is healthy, and restoring balance reverses it. You might notice it when you wake feeling unrested despite long hours in bed, or when moods feel off for no clear reason, or when small tasks feel harder because your mind isn't as sharp. Adjusting so you have enough wakeful hours builds that natural tiredness, leading to deeper sleep and clearer days. Even dim light at night, from a hallway light left on, a phone glowing while charging, or a television on low, surprises most people with how much it matters. It signals to your brain that it's not fully dark yet and suppresses melatonin, the hormone that protects neurons and starts the deepest repair phases. Picture the nighttime brain as a factory that needs total darkness for its cleanup shift. Any light keeps machines running inefficiently, leaving waste behind. Stanford researchers found that low-level nighttime light reduced melatonin by 50% in adults 65 and older, leading to shallower sleep and weaker memory formation. People often underestimate this because the effects build slowly without immediate pain, but it quietly adds to mental fatigue. You might notice it when you wake feeling like your head is full of cotton, or when small details from the day seem harder to recall, or when you feel more forgetful about little things like appointments or where you left items. Keeping the bedroom as dark as possible helps your brain release melatonin properly, leading to deeper sleep and better memory the next day. Long-term use of sleep medications rounds out the common habits. Helpful short-term, they often suppress deep non-REM and REM stages the brain needs for learning, clearing harmful build-up, and emotional balance. JAMA Neurology found seniors using benzodiazepines nightly for over 6 months had 23% less slow-wave sleep, the stage that clears beta-amyloid linked to cognitive concerns. Even when sleep feels adequate, brain maintenance is incomplete. You might notice it when you feel rested but still wake up foggy, or when moods feel uneven, or when thinking feels slower. Talking with your doctor about whether these medications are still helping, or if other approaches might support your brain better, can make a real difference. The good news is that none of these habits cause permanent, unfixable damage. Brains stay remarkably resilient into the 60s, 70s, and beyond. And meaningful recovery often follows when conditions improve. Awareness and gentle adjustments matter, not fear. To make this feel more real, let me tell you about 2 people I've worked with closely. Margaret was 72 when she first came to see me. She sat across from me feeling frustrated and frightened, her hands clasped tightly in her lap. She described how her mind seemed to be slipping, walking into rooms only to forget why, groping for ordinary words that used to come easily, noticing memory lapses in conversations with her daughter or neighbours. She said it scared her because she didn't want to lose her independence or worry her family. She believed she was getting 8 solid hours of sleep, but as we talked, she explained her bedtime varied from 9 to 11, and she often lay awake an hour, worrying or replaying the day. Together we introduced the REST protocol, a clear phased plan I'll describe in detail shortly. We started slowly, focusing first on fixed wake-up time, then gradually adjusting bedtime, and adding other pieces as she got comfortable. Within 6 weeks, she returned with excitement in her voice and a brighter look in her eyes. She said her mornings had transformed. She felt roughly 80% clear and alert upon waking instead of 40%. Nighttime awakenings dropped from 4 or 5 to 1 or 2, anxiety eased, and she regained trust in her thinking. Memory wasn't perfect, but her brain felt nourished and rested. Looking me in the eye, she said quietly, "I thought I was losing my mind for good, but it turned out my brain had just been running on empty without the right kind of rest." She laughed a little as she told me how much more patient she felt with family, how she enjoyed conversations without constant worry, and how she looked forward to mornings again. Harold was 68 and had started going to bed at 7, thinking more rest was better. He woke at 3 alert and couldn't return to sleep. Memory tests showed slight short-term recall declines, and he used low-dose sleep medication for years. He felt like he was always catching up with his mind. We focused on fixed wake-up time, limiting nightlight, and gradually shifting bedtime later. After 8 weeks, his deep sleep rose 35% on his tracker. Word recall climbed from 15 to 19 out of 20. Morning haze cleared, and mood stabilized without emotional ups and downs. The rest protocol realigned his repair rhythms, and he expressed genuine surprise at how much lighter he felt. He said, "I didn't realize how much I was missing until I woke up ready for the day instead of dragging." He enjoyed morning walks more, felt less on edge with his wife, and remembered conversation details without struggling. Stories like Margaret's and Harold's happen regularly. Hundreds show measurable progress when sleep habits are corrected. The framework that has guided so many is the REST protocol: rhythm, education, stimulus control, and timing. Let me walk you through it slowly and practically so you can see how it fits your routine, with extra tips to make it easier. The foundation is anchoring your wake-up time. Choose a practical hour, perhaps 7 or 7:30, and get up then every morning, even after poor sleep. Rise, open curtains, have breakfast, maybe step outside. This single practice powerfully stabilizes your circadian clock and strengthens sleep pressure for the next night. It gives your brain a dependable signal about when daytime begins and nighttime follows. Harvard research showed consistent wake times boosted deep sleep by 30% within 2 weeks. People often notice easier evening sleep because their body learns when day ends. Keep a small notebook by your bed to mark wake times. Seeing the pattern helps stick with it, and your body may start waking naturally. If mornings feel hard, keep curtains open overnight so light gently wakes you, or place your alarm across the room so you must get up to turn it off. This reinforces the habit and makes it feel natural sooner. Many find after a week or 2 their body wakes at that time, feeling more energized mornings. Alongside that, handle naps thoughtfully. If napping helps, limit to 20 minutes or less and finish before 3 p.m. Extended or late naps reduce healthy pressure needed for restorative nighttime sleep. Instead, channel energy into daytime habits that build natural tiredness: slow walks after lunch, light gardening, or standing while folding laundry. This helps nights become more restorative without daytime struggle to stay awake. If you nap, use a gentle timer to avoid drifting longer and keep the room bright so the nap stays short and refreshing. Many find skipping long naps leads to more even energy all day and faster evening sleep. If afternoon sleepiness hits, stand and stretch or walk to another room instead of lying down. That often refreshes without affecting night sleep. One of the easiest and most effective boosters is morning light exposure. Aim for 15 to 20 minutes of natural daylight soon after waking. Perhaps a slow walk around the block or yard, sitting on your porch with coffee, or standing near an open window if going out is hard. Early light recalibrates your internal timer, speeds evening sleep onset, and increases deep sleep depth. Pairing light with mild movement, like gentle walking, stretching, or light chores, further supports by tiring your body healthily. Many notice steadier energy after a week or 2. If weather is bad, bright window sitting with open curtains helps, and having first tea or coffee by the window makes it routine. Even cloudy days provide stronger light than indoors, helping your clock stay aligned. Stimulus control becomes useful when awake in bed for extended periods. The rule is simple. If 20 to 30 minutes pass without sleep, get up calmly, go to another room if possible, keep lights low and soft, and do something uninteresting and non-activating. You might flip through a dull catalogue, organize a drawer quietly, or listen to gentle instrumental music. Avoid phones, televisions, bright rooms, or engaging activities. This gradually reteaches your brain that bed means sleep, not wakeful thinking or frustration. Johns Hopkins reported seniors using this technique reduced average nighttime awakenings by 42% across 6 weeks, leading to noticeably fresher mornings. Keep a dim nightlight in the hallway so getting up isn't disruptive, and have a simple chair ready in another room. If returning to bed after calm activity, give another short window before repeating. Over time, your brain learns bed is for sleeping, not stress. Many find after a few weeks they fall asleep faster because bed no longer feels like a worry place. For bedtime, most older adults do best between 9:30 and 10:30 at night. If your pattern is outside that, much earlier or later, avoid abrupt changes. Instead, move bedtime 15 minutes later every 2 or 3 nights until comfortable in the ideal zone. This gradual shift lets your body adapt smoothly and often leads to extended deep slow wave and REM sleep, both enhancing memory consolidation and emotional steadiness. University of Michigan findings showed seniors optimizing bedtime this way improved cognitive test scores by 15 to 20% after 4 weeks. People often report waking more refreshed and daytime thinking sharper without effort. Use a gentle reminder to start winding down and create a simple pre-bed routine like brushing teeth or reading a few pages to cue your body. Keep the bedroom cool and quiet to support faster sleep and avoid heavy meals or caffeine too late. A warm bath or shower an hour before bed can help signal relaxation. The final pieces involve protecting nighttime darkness and thoughtfully reviewing regular sleep medications with your doctor. After sunset, switch to dim, warm-coloured lighting rather than harsh overheads. Soft table lamps or yellowish night lights work well. Position phones, tablets and televisions, screen down or in another room, and turn off TVs well before bedtime. Preserving natural melatonin flow supports deeper sleep stages and better overnight brain cleanup. If sleep aids are routine, discuss with your physician whether continuing is best or if alternatives better align with long-term brain health. Small refinements often bring outsized improvements. Consider blackout curtains if streetlights or moonlight enter, and keep the bedroom cool and quiet. A small fan for white noise can block outside sounds, and slightly cooler room temperature helps fall and stay asleep. When you follow the rest protocol consistently, benefits unfold in stages that feel motivating and sustainable. During the initial week, sleep often grows subtly deeper. Middle-of-the-night awakenings decrease, and mornings bring a faint but welcome increase in mental brightness. You might notice less grogginess upon waking or easier recall of small things. By the second week, most people fall asleep more quickly after getting into bed. Overall anxiety levels dip slightly, and daytime alertness feels more reliable. You might find conversations flow better or feel less on edge over little things. In weeks 3 and 4, gains become easier to notice. Recalled details surface more readily. Focus holds steadier during reading or talking. Memory for recent events strengthens, and emotional responses feel calmer and less reactive. You might smile more or feel more patient with family. From week 4 onward, deep and REM phases settle into dependable rhythm. Reliance on daytime naps diminishes, and broader cognitive clarity returns, making ordinary activities feel smoother and less effortful. The process resembles a gentle yet profound reset, starting quietly but building into meaningful restoration of sharpness once consistent rhythms take hold. Keep a simple daily note of how you feel upon waking and going to bed. Seeing gradual progress written down can be very motivating and helps notice small wins, like remembering a name without effort or waking rested instead of exhausted.